get up. Yeah.
Can you feel this energy? This is the start of something great. We might be a little late, hey, but at least we're on our way. You got too much time to waste.
Hi guys, welcome back to another video. I want to start off this video with a disclaimer. One, I do not think this video is made for children. So if you're a kid, please click out now. Now's a good time. Two, if you do not like sarcasm and cursing, this isn't your video either. So I suggest you click out now. I can willingly admit that I have a sailor's mouth, but there's always a time and a place for everything. And it's the motherfucking time and the place right now, okay? So, as you guys can see by the title, this is a story about my peeping Tom. About when an older man tried looking at my chichis. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't even have chichis at the time, so I don't even know what he was looking at. But yes, this is what happened. To give you guys more of an idea of what was happening at the time, you guys can go and view our How We Met. It gives you a little background as to what was going on at the time. To start off, this is actually the same summer. My freshman year, the summer after that, when I was going to be a sophomore, I went to go stay with my mom. I was going to live with her at the time. My brother and I were there with her in California, and she lived, I can't remember if it was an apartment or a condo. Either way, it was a one-story apartment or condo, and my mom's extra spare bedrooms actually were on the side of the building. So meaning that there was windows on each of our rooms. So yeah, so people could actually walk past, you know, our windows and blah blah if they were trying to walk around the building. You know, usually people don't, they go on the sidewalk path and go to wherever they need to, but this wasn't the case that time. So it was that summer. I was actually 14. I just remember showering, getting out of the shower, changing, going to my room to change. I mean, don't we all? I went to my room to change, and then in the midst of changing, all of a sudden my mom's partner comes running into the house, and they started asking my mom, "Where's my gun? Where's my gun?" So like, what is going on? Like, okay. So my mom says, I don't know where it's at. They end up finding the gun, and they run outside. Before they run outside, they end up screaming to us, "Stay inside, stay inside." So it was my mom, my brother, and I at the time. I guess they were coming inside the apartment or whatever, and they actually had their friend with, let's call him Josh. So they were walking with their friend Josh, and I guess that's at the time too that they saw this guy looking into my window. So I obviously had no idea what was going on. My mom and I were just waiting there wondering what was happening. At the same time too, obviously, if there's a gun involved, it was serious. So we're staying inside. From this point, it's going to be from their perspective and how they said everything happened. So I guess apparently they had got into the apartment. As they were walking up, they saw this guy, as I said, and they're like, "Hey." They scream at him, and the guy looks at them, and oh, like, you know, he's like, "Oh shit, I got caught." So they run up to him, and they're like, "What the fuck are you doing?" He starts telling them, "Oh, nothing, like I was just walking by." So they tell him, "No, you weren't walking by. We saw you looking into the window. What the hell were you looking at?" So, "No, I'm sorry, nothing happened, like I won't do it again." So I think at that point, that's when shit got real, and Josh ended up staying there with the guy, and my mom's partner ran inside, and that's when he ended up asking for the gun and where it was at. So we were still confused as to what was going on. At the time, they ran out with the gun, and they shook him up a little bit. They asked him, you know, "What are you doing? You're looking into a window of a little girl." Like I said, I was little at the time. I was 14. So I don't know what he was looking at. I didn't have anything real nasty, but that's what he was doing. And they started telling him, you know, "What the hell? What's your problem?" And he's like, I'm sorry, I won't do it again." And they're like, "No." So they shook him up. I think because of the fact that they had a gun, it really, you know, struck him. So they end up doing whatever they had to do, and all of a sudden they tell the guy to leave. So they tell him, "Leave, just go and never come back." So he ends up running. He ends up running, and I guess to give you guys more of an idea, my mom's partner's friend Josh, he was a big guy. He was huge. He was pretty jacked up, I guess you can say. I laugh because he actually had a pit bull and his name was Cheech. They were best friends, and he was hilarious because he was the sweetest dog ever. But that gives you a visual of what he looked like. So I guess at the time too, they tell this guy, leave, like don't ever come back. So this guy's running, and I guess in a rage, Josh just goes, because just does some Dragon Ball Z shit, okay? So he gets a rage and starts running after this guy. He ends up catching up to this guy and like beating his ass. So the guy gets up and Josh keeps telling him, are you gonna do that shit again? I guess the rage just hit him too. I don't know what it was. Obviously, you know, it was a Peeping Tom situation, and I think the fact that I was so little had a lot to do with it. So he starts beating his ass and he tells him, don't ever fucking come back. I don't ever want to see you again. So the guy ends up running off, like completely running off, you know, all messed up. I would say poor him, but I mean, I feel like it was well deserved too. You know, I also don't agree with solving issues with violence all the time, but at the same time, that's what happened. I couldn't control that, and I didn't even know what was happening too at the time. I was still inside wondering what's going on. So they end up coming inside and telling us what happened, like I just said, and Josh is just full of like blood, and it's just from obviously this guy. It was a crazy story. So I think too that brings a lot of sense into why, like, when we moved into our apartment, I've always been cautious of that. Like, whenever we have windows, ever since then, I feel I have curtains on them all the time. I know people sometimes have blinds, but to me that's not enough. You can see my fucking shadow, and I don't like that shit. You know, whatever it is, you can have the blinds closed and you still see what's going on inside if you get a good look. So no, so I'm traumatized. So wherever we go, I make sure that the first thing we have is curtains, and I make sure that they're blackout curtains because it makes it even less likely for people to be able to view inside. So I don't know, I'm just paranoid like that. But yeah, that's pretty much what happened. They ended up coming inside and telling us what it was, and I don't think the guy ever came back. I mean, I don't think, to think about it, I don't think I changed in my room for a while. I think I started changing in the bathroom. I just felt it's violating. I think it's more so violating too, obviously, when you don't know somebody's looking at you. You know, you're comfortable in your own home and somebody's literally just looking through the window, lurking and looking at you change. Like, what the hell? So that was weird for me, and I remember that very well. So that was a story about me and my chichi kukui. Yep. It's stuck with me, so hopefully you guys like that little story. I'm definitely gonna bring more, and if you like more of these, please make sure to thumbs up the video. It gives me more of a sense if you guys want to hear things like this or not. Plus, it's kind of weird for me to talk about these things, you know, it's not like an open conversation. So I have plenty more stories, plenty more crazy stories. I actually just thought of one that Matt and I went through, and I'm kind of looking forward to telling you guys that because that was also a scary situation. But if you guys like this, please be sure to thumbs up like I said, and we'll be back with another video. Thank you so much. Bye.